It's okay. Mad cause I'm trying to feed my family. I'm supposed to stunt with. Had to cut you off, you was on some dun. You was for me. It's crazy. Cause it's shining, now you act shady.
To the NFL on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Seahawks going up against the Buccaneers. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. With the distinctive pirate ship in the north end zone, we can only be in one place, and that's Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. On first down, gone. Got him in right side. It's Sharp. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A good start offensively. 15 yards on the game's initial play. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Here's Goff now on second down. And that'll be incomplete. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion. Off play action. Here's Goff. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you got to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. So on fourth down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. In motion goes the tight end. The first carry now. This is Johnson. Room here to run. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. The numbers a week ago for Johnson. Very productive. 3 touchdowns, 2 of them on the ground, 1 through the air.
And it will always be a compliment to say that a guy's got a nose for the end zone, and he sure had it last week.
That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and third levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it. So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
So the offense looking at a 2nd and 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Out of the gun, Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 48, and this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
Well, this wind is definitely going to be a factor as this game goes along. He's throwing straight into it here in the first quarter, and the ball fluttered on him a little bit. They'll definitely have to file that one away and make a mental note of it.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Now they run with Mixon. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. From the gun, here's Gone. Shakes off the sack. Able to shake him off. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
The Seahawks send out their punter. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. Completes it to the rookie from North Carolina, Ryan Switzer. That one goes for 24 yards. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they show to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
And he finds a man on a crossing route. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
For the offense lining up 1st and 10. Now Watson. Screenplay, Johnson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
15 yards through the air and a first down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
Oh, eluding the tackle. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 27. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a 2nd drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Again, it's Mixon. And he'll get this up to about the 40. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
And that'll set them back 5. So still a full 10 yards to go here for the offense on 3rd down. Goff. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Here we go!
Faking the give. Now Watson. So left side, it's complete. And they're going to get this one up to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. On first down, Watson. This one caught by Crowder. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. On second down, Johnson. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. From the 50, it's Watson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation. But sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Mixon gets the nod to start the drive. And unable to get downhill there, so he'll take this up to about the 37. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
They'll fake the give. Now Goff. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. The 20. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. When those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
And that one gives the Bucs a 7-0 lead. So the defense, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. In search of redemption from the pick 6. Goff toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
I know they don't like to hear it when they get to a certain age, but then you have to start to use your skills, your wiles, right? Your mind to beat guys to the football. And getting your toes tapped in bounds definitely qualifies as that, doesn't it?
The veteran showing he still has the agility. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far and brings up 3rd down.
Out routes are always timing routes. And if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off the play. It looked like he led him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. Now Johnson. Good move by Duke. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
The first down carry here for Johnson. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to
losing yardage back at the 40. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
Let's go!
Here we go on 4th. Watson looking left side, and it's complete. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 19 down to the 19, and it's a first down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to be stopped dead in his tracks. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Larry Ridley will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Off of play action, it's Watson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off inside the 5. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. On second down, here's Goff. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Joe Mixon there out of the backfield. And it's 3rd and short.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line. A great pick, nice return, but you know he's just beating himself up inside for not getting all the way in.
No doubt about it, because he had visions of end zone in his mind. Going to be the total hero. But we did see there the emphasis on it's not just good enough to pick it off anymore. Bring it back, get the yardage, and really help out your offense.
They'll run it with Johnson. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Duke Johnson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken just inside the 10. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. He struggled. His team has struggled. You talked to me a lot about looking to your leaders. Maybe it's time for him to put his mark on this game.
Agreed. And how that has to happen is somehow he's got to flush out everything that's happened so far and almost start over and get back to that confident level and know that he can play the game, because so far this has been...
Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Dewan Smoot in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Throw left side complete. That's Dixon. And I think the ball's out. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. The ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 45 and to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
And that's now the 2nd time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively, and you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson, and a big hit at the end of that one. He's knocked down hard. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, he was stopped on that play. He's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Watson, off play action. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Malik Collins, able to use that strength and get him for a loss of 2.
Partner, I know that ball security is preached like crazy, but every now and then you've got to know when to get rid of the football and save a little bit of yardage if you're a quarterback.
Because now if you're the offensive coordinator, what does it do if it was 3rd and 10 versus 3rd and much longer as it is now?
Yeah, it changes everything in terms of play calling and the pressure you might expect to face on the very next down. Had to throw the ball away and save the yardage. He didn't get it done.
So we've hit halftime here in Tampa with the Bucs out in front. As we will toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando. That's where we check in with Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, back to you guys in a minute. But first, it's indeed time for our EA Sports Halftime Report. The Buccaneers are up right now and are looking to keep up the pressure moving forward. The Seahawks just want to come out after the half and claw their way back into the game. All right, let's roll the highlights. Buccaneers have it midway through the first. Broken coverage here on the pass play. And he'll let...
All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. The second quarter score from Cincinnati, and the Bengals out to the early advantage. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. Now, Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. Any surprise in your mind he's out there to start the second half after 4 first-half interceptions?
I used to be surprised by a lot of things, partner, but in this case I'm not, because you know they want him to be their guy. And the only way to truly establish that is to give him a chance to work through some of the issues he had in the first half.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
On second down, here's Watson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
Crowder's got it over the middle. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. A very solid gain of 27.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Over the middle, complete. That's Potter. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And they do get him down, but not before he reaches the 4-yard line. A very solid gain of 27. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down. To throw on second is Watson. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football, and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
The offense on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. They'll try to run it in. Johnson. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Duke Johnson with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the third. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. And my goodness, another interception. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now Watson looking to throw on second down. He's got his man on the crossing route. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage, so as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. When the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. From the gun, here's Watson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Here we go. Now a first down throw. Watson got his man complete over the middle. It's Potter. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Let's go. To the air yet again, Watson. His throw caught around the 6. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown.
A good tight end is a heck of a weapon for any quarterback, especially when you're able to create some mismatches. Sometimes they work against a linebacker, sometimes they work against a smaller defensive back. But when they find it, they go to it, and it often results in touchdowns.
So that drives 7 plays in length, and it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to face a third down.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says try something different, try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this offense kick-started.
They've really been able to contain Alshon Jeffrey. That catch a rare exception in this game.
And that's a feather in their cap because he's such a tone setter for his team on offense that they try and get him the ball early. And, of course, what comes after that is often. And for them to limit him and him not catch a ball until the second half, it's a big reason why his team is behind on the scoreboard.
We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Tampa. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. To throw on second down is gone. He's going to wind up and air it out. This is caught at the 20. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. And that one results in 35 yards. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
What a game this defense has played. They're pitching a shutout, so it'd be fun to watch down the stretch to see if their defensive coordinator continues to be as aggressive as he's been all game long.
This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Another stop on 3rd down, and this defense still hasn't allowed a touchdown to this point.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Second down to the offense, needing 5 yards. Here's Watson. On the catch, it's Crowder. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They're in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. Out of the pistol, here's Johnson. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total. Now a handoff, Johnson. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Watson, and this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. And my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late.
And now here is another interception. Picked off near the 29. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going
forward. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. and never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again, and who knows, you may meet up with this team again.
Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. Out of the gun. Goff. Over the middle. Sharp's got it complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Give him 30 yards there. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. On first down, Goff. He's going to let it fly. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. Tajay Sharp, the intended target. And that'll bring up second down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Again, then win again like Wimbledon I serve. Yeah, that's him again. The sound that engine in is like a bird. You see fireworks and Corvette tires skirt the boulevard. I know how you work. I know just who you are. See, use it.